Hello, this is the Shareholder Foundation newsletter module video. The main way to see all the newsletter things is right here in the menu. If you're logged in, there's the configuration page. One thing on here is showing that you can see a draft of what the newsletter is going to look like. I can look that up. Now, we're not sending the full HTML, so they're not going to see this top header anymore. But they're going to see something that looks like this. Now, not all of the CSS will work on various email clients, but you'll see something that looks about like that. So, if I want to send the data, there's an actual form that's right here that actually sends the data from a form. I want to look at some of these options. Send grid, I've already put the key in. I'm going to send 300 emails per batch. This is the from email that'll be in the newsletter, and the to email. Right now I've got mine in there. Well, mine for the to. You can change that to yours. The templates, you got the subject of your newsletter and some intro text. And here I think you should explain that, I might have contacted you in a while, but I'm going to sending these newsletters. If you want to unsubscribe, whatever you want to say. This section is a header just for the investigation. Finally, there's a footer. And Linda has some CSS. Once again, it may or may not work in different email clients. Next section is the data settings. How many of the different reports? I just picked some arbitrary numbers that I was using in my testing. You can set those, of course, to whatever you want. See what they look like in the preview. Logging and debugging. I have a test email. And notice I can put it in a mode that only sends to just this one email. And that's probably the first thing we'll do on the test server. And there's also a way to simulate the email. Like I might want to use this for testing. Also, if you ever have trouble, you can stop this email. If you somehow sent to the batch, even though you had some problem, you didn't catch it in the other ones, you can hit here. Remember, of course, to save. Because if the configuration is saved that's on disable, it won't run any more batches. So if I hit save here, it'll come back to the form again. That's where I started. And let's double check what's going on here. So I'm only going to send to the test email above. I can run that little test. So let's save the configuration. It's not going to run it. It's just setting up the configuration for that. So I'll go to the form that actually runs this. Note that the button says what's going to happen. Send test newsletter to test email and Abrams.mark only. That's the only email it's going to go to. If you want to change it again, go to the configuration page. We'll do that in a minute. And I send test newsletter. This will only take a second, and I've tested this before. I'm not going to look at it. About to send, and then it did. There's no problem, so it didn't say anything. Now if I go to the configuration page, let's say I want to send to all of the admin users, notice that the disable is not set and the simulate is not set. You're actually going to email. Send to the admin user, save the configuration. Now because we started on this page, the send email form we end up on this send email form. We can see what the settings are, but the button tells us to send test newsletters to admin users only. Email will be sent. So I can click on this, and there'll be a batch form. It'll run. That happens so quickly you can't really see. But 7 results were processed. The last one was this UID. Here was their email. It took a very small, that's e to the -5. It took a tiny fraction of a second. Now, if I go and if I want to see what happens if I send to everyone, well, right now I don't want to do that because we're not quite ready, and this is an old report off the test server. So if I send to all users in a simulate mode and save, now when I run it, send newsletters to all users. It's going to take a minute. If I had a problem, I could have opened that other page, gone to the configuration and saved it. I'm going to pause this right now. And I'm back. I'll scroll down and see the results. It didn't take that long. Sometimes it'll take a little bit longer, but so I paused it. But it didn't take very long this time. I wasn't emailing. It'll take longer when you're emailing. It went to 117,000 users, and out of those was 1,182 bad. Now, this is the old Dev 7.4b server, so it's possible that we fixed those emails, but in any event, those emails shouldn't go to SendGrid. And that's basically it. The only thing I haven't done is send to the whole group, but we can do that once we're on the live server and you got a good message in there. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.